Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now above 29.7k. The local uptrend is not broken at all. So we're going to take a look at what that means. The warning yesterday hopefully came at the right time. In the last video, I made you aware that we have to take the white wave count much more seriously, given that the bears again seemed to be failing. Nothing was invalidated yesterday, but I highlighted to you that we would at least get a reset of yellow wave 2, which we are seeing now, but it's actually pushing too high even for circle wave 2, for yellow circle wave 2. So if we break above the last swing high here that was made on Monday, the fake out high, you could say, at 30k, then we have more clarity that most likely the white wave count is playing out. I would already emphasize it now as highly likely, given that we broke above resistance here, above 29.5k. So what I made you aware of in the last video was that resistance here has a good chance to be broken, and that this would be the first sign that it wants to put in the fifth wave to the upside. 29.5 was then next resistance, that's broken as well, giving us very strong indications that it might want to go for this fifth wave to the upside into the 31k region, as I said yesterday. So with that, we would get potentially 5 waves up. So the count would be of the 11th of September low, 1, 2, 3, the wave 4 triangle that I showed you yesterday in the last video, and then a wave 5 to the upside. Then we have 5 waves up. I don't see clear 5 waves to the upside yet. We could argue that maybe we have 5, but not reliable 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is only a visual assessment, but not a clear 5 wave move up. Also, if this was the case, then okay, then we would have a wave 1 already, but then we would need to see an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave in a wave 2 for another pullback. If that happens, I mean, I'll let you know. But at the moment, from looking at the proportions and the subdivisions, it seems likely it wants to push higher for one more high, basically, okay? And these are exactly the situations, where I always say that for most people, it makes sense to build a core position and then take profits when the market makes those profits available, instead of trying to trade every single wave, because it's just not the market for that. Can you see that? It's just not the market for that. It's very, very choppy. It's a very rocky road higher. And yeah, I mean, if we get those 5 waves, I would like to see it in the 31k region. Then we have a first good perspective that we actually might be in this third wave rally that we've been talking about on the daily time frame. Yeah, that could take us to 40 to 50k, but without even having 5 waves, this is simple speculation. So while the yellow wave count is not invalidated, it has become less likely as the bears have again failed. And we saw that coming yesterday already. That's always why we try to warn you as soon as possible. That's why we do TA, to indicate when the bears seem to be too weak to really follow the pathway. I leave it on the chart now, the yellow count, because Bitcoin is just in the mood to surprise at the moment. But I'm following very closely now that fifth wave to the upside, and that will probably materialize further today if this is what's playing out. But let's go to the 30-minute chart. So to really see this wave 5 here play out, which would again form a larger degree wave 1, I need to see a break above the $30,000 level. It can still fail. So if we break above 30k, then I would argue it should get to around about 31k for a reliable 5-wave move. If we get a reliable 5-wave move, then we can add to the chart a pullback zone for an A, B, C structure. And we would then have a wave 1 in a leading diagonal and a wave 2 corrective pullback, yeah, for a potential entry point in a third wave to the upside, okay? So, but again, these are the movements that Bitcoin just sometimes likes to do. You have to be highly, let's say, sensitive to that, which is why I warned you yesterday that the yellow count, I see signals that the yellow count might not work out as intended. So that's why we have the white wave count, of course, as bullish potential that, if filled in, will give us a nice setup for higher. But bear in mind that there are different strategies how to trade all this stuff. And yeah, having a solid core position is the best prevention for FOMO, right? I received a few comments from people who said, oh, I sold all my positions and everything. Now, this is again poor strategy. As I said many times, have different buckets. Have one for your long-term portfolio, have one for your short-term portfolio if you want to trade short-term, but don't be an all-in, all-out person, because if you're all out of the market and something like this happens and you see the price could potentially get above 30K and above 32K, which would be a massive breakout point, which we all know, then you will feel FOMO. And that's the worst, that will destroy portfolios. Okay, so again, everybody should have a core position, in my opinion, everybody who wants to be in this market. And that is the best FOMO prevention. You need to prepare yourself, and there was time for it, to be happy basically with situations in which the market goes up to take profits and goes down, maybe as a short trader or even as someone who then wants to just buy back lower, right, after taking profits. So very important, okay? And yeah, it's going to be an interesting day to see if we can fill in those 5 waves to 31K. If we can do that, and I will keep you updated, then I will give support for a wave 2 pullback. But it could be potentially to 31, potentially even 32K. I mean, 32K is the major breakout point up there. We're getting closer to it, but in terms of structural resistance, yeah, let's put that onto the chart as well. We have definitely resistance here around 31. This is the wave 1 high that was made, and then all the way up to 32K, which is the July high. So this is going to be resistance, key resistance. I mean, if we break above 32K, I mean, that's really when the FOMO will kick in. Let's see. It should ideally not break above 32K without getting a pullback first, but it can always do that, right? It can always do that. That's why one second, is something off with the support area down there? I think it shifted a little bit. Let me just adjust that. So yeah, that's why we want to have a core position to prevent FOMO, basically. Okay, so yeah. And yeah, I don't think there is much more to add. I mean, it still could form this left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but of course the local uptrend is not broken yet. And one more high is missing in the wide wave count. If it topped already, then this is still a B wave, but any higher than this could give us potential 5 waves. Again, word of warning here, word of caution at least. If we get another high, then it would only be a diagonal structure. It would not be impulsive, and diagonals cannot be trusted. So don't just get too bullish just yet, okay, because we cannot trust it. But I think the parameters are very clear. Should take us into the region around 31, 32K. A break above 32K will spark a lot of FOMO. Don't think this is necessarily going to happen yet. I think this is quite strong resistance. If it does, then it could take us to that 40 to 50K region that we've been talking about for many, many months. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, if you're interested in the membership, there are weekly live streams every Sunday, member live streams in which we cover educational content as well as member requests. There is Discord and Telegram as chat room access, educational content as well on Discord. Plus, as a gold member, you get additional short-term market updates, which can be very, very useful on days like these. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.